Hello, lovely people. Today, I want to demystify for you the consultation. I know that some of you have maybe been sitting on the fence for a while, and I want to help you get off the fence if that is you, because it's really one of the most painful places to be. If you imagine like a fence with, the spiky posts of wood, or even if it's not spiky, you're just like sitting on this really narrow, like a fence is not a comfortable place to be. So let's get you off the fence. And um, yeah, if I love doing consultations and I think that they are one of the most valuable hours that you can spend. And so if you have any reservations, confusions, hesitations, I want to address some of those if they are unnecessarily holding you back from experiencing one of these amazing consultations. So maybe you are afraid that it's going to be really awkward and uncomfortable. Maybe because we've never met before and it's going to be on Zoom and it's just going to be like, yeah, you don't know if we're going to click. You don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know, maybe you don't know what you're going to say. You don't know how to explain your problem. Maybe you're thinking that you don't want to share all of these things that are really vulnerable. I don't want to admit that I don't have all of these things together. Um, Maybe you like have trouble even admitting them to yourself, let alone to some random person on the internet, and it's just gonna, like, you're imagining it's gonna feel too painful to look at and to talk about. Or maybe you think it's gonna be this hour-long, like, really pushy sales call. Yuck. No, thank you. So we're going to address all of these. Firstly, the discomfort. So I'm going to start with, yes, it is going to be slightly uncomfortable, but it is going to be way less than what you're thinking. And what I believe is that the discomfort that is there, I just believe that you are super capable of handling it. So, yep, if we have never met, there's going to be this element of like, just when you're meeting a new person, that's just there. You can't escape that. And it is going to be a little bit uncomfortable to talk about things that you're struggling with. Maybe you have shame around them. Maybe you've never told anybody some of these things. Um, but what I want to offer is that discomfort is way less than the discomfort that you're already experiencing in your life. Like whatever it is that's making you even contemplate coming for a consultation, um, whatever the thing is you're struggling with, like there's a whole lot of discomfort that is already there. So in comparison to that discomfort that you're already like handling, the discomfort of a consultation is much less than that. And there's the payoff, like it's so worth it to do it. Um, I also like to think of it as like if you can go to confession and like I'm assuming that probably you do, um, regularly. And like nobody really loves going to confession. Like we love how it feels afterwards, but it's like, it's uncomfortable. But if you can go to confession, which I know you have done, you can do a consult. Like I know that you are totally capable. And so yes, there is going to be some discomfort. I want you to know that that's going to be there and you can handle it, but also it's going to be way more fun than what you're thinking. So yes, like we're going to talk about your problems and things that you don't like in your life, but we're not going to stay there. Like that's just the first little bit, this tiny piece. It's just the starting point. Really what coaching is about is getting you out of the problem and into the solution and being in a solution focused mindset, like let's and like be moving forward. And so that's what we're there to do. You're there to get a taste of that. So we're going to get you thinking bigger, seeing yourself as bigger than the problem. You're going to watch yourself become a more triumphant version of yourself than you thought possible, which is just the most fun. And no matter what you say, I am not going to be judging you. I promise. Um, I've done 2 coaching certifications now, and it's really like coaching 101 is like don't judge your client. Like if you're judging your client, you can't be coaching them well. So that is just really not something that's on the agenda at all. And I want you to contemplate and consider also that really, like, if you think about the things that you're afraid of being, that that I'm going to judge you about. Like really what's happening is you're already judging yourself for those things. And that'd be one of the things that we work on in coaching. So I wanted to walk you through exactly what happens in this mysterious hour that we're going to spend together. Here's what actually happens, the actual steps and like exercises that we're going to do. So firstly, we're going to just do the normal things. We're going to say hello, settle in, do a quick tech check, and then we pray. I always want the Lord to be leading these conversations. And then I'll ask you like what prompted you to book the call? What's the thing that's really on your heart that you really wanted to deal with, to work on? And then we'll do an exercise that goes through a few key areas of your life. And that's just to get a quick snapshot of what's happening in both your interior life and your exterior life, like the intangible stuff that's happening inside and the tangible stuff that's happening outside, your thoughts and your results. And even just doing this one exercise alone gives you so much clarity. Like you're probably going to say things out loud that you've never really articulated before. You'll see where you've been, why you've been stuck. You'll start to dream, like give yourself permission to dream in ways that maybe you haven't been. You'll see so much more clearly why you haven't been moving forward in the way that you want. And you may even you'll have clarity on where do I actually even want to move to? Because sometimes I ask people questions and they're like, oh, actually, I don't really even know where I want to go. But you don't realize this necessarily until you actually get asked the question and you're saying it out loud. Then I'll explain how my fiat method simplifies everything that we've just uncovered, like no matter how complicated it feels to you, like really there are only 4 places that you ever need to be directing your focus for problem solving, which is just, the best news. And so we'll organize all the things you're struggling with into these 4 areas and just make it feel so much more clear, so much more simple, and just really doable from right where you are. Then we'll take a moment to contemplate the bigger picture impact of the changes that you want to make. I'm going to get you thinking way bigger than your brain normally does. Your brain just loves to focus on what you have to give up now in the process of becoming who you want to be. It wants to think in the short term, like in the now, but we want to spend a bit of time thinking about what's really on the table. What's the real cost of not moving forward, of not taking action, of not changing over the next year, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, like the impact on you, on people around you. Like it's so much bigger than just you and like the immediate, but that's where your brain loves to live in just this like little bubble, but there's a much bigger picture. So we're going to consider that. And then we'll expose any lingering doubts, hesitations, or fears that might stop you from going all in on what you feel called to, which is like usually why you're there. Like you're feeling called by the Lord. You see a version of you that God is calling you to step into, a part of you that like something that wants to come forth, a part of you that wants to come alive in a way that maybe you've been feeling a little bit dead inside in certain places. So we're going to, explore, uncover, expose, explore anything that might stop you, that's still lingering, that might stop you from saying yes, giving God your fiat, giving him your yes to that, answering that call. And only after all of that, if you are interested, will we then talk about the practicals of what coaching with me actually looks like, all of the details. And by then, like you're talking about it and making a decision, having had an actual experience of what a coaching conversation with me is like, you're making a decision with just like the best, most informed mindset possible. And throughout that decision-making part, I'm going to keep my coach hat on because decision-making is the essence of what we do in coaching. And technically, yes, there is a sales conversation element to it, but not in the way that you might think. I'm really, truly not there to sell you on me. I'm not the one living your life. I'm not the one who has to go home and do the work. I'm not the one that has to implement what we talk about. You are. You're the one with the dream. You're the one with the call. You're the one with the desires. You're the one with the vision. It's your life. You lead your own life. So my job as a coach always is to sell you, to sell you on yourself, on your ability to be the person that you want to be. Yeah, that is my job. And it's the number one thing that stops people, belief in themselves, like in some variation, even if you don't think, oh yeah, like if you probably, like maybe some of you are like, oh, I believe in myself, but like having coached many people, there are always sneaky ways that we don't really believe in ourselves. So, in some form, in some way, shape, or form, that is showing up. So my goal is you leave the consult believing in your capability to do all things in his strength, even just a little bit more. Like that is mission accomplished to me. So what I hope you've heard is like, this is not just an hour of me talking at you about coaching. That's like 10% of the conversation. 90% of the time, we're talking about you, your life, your mind, your inner world, your dreams, and the things that you feel like are holding you back and how we get those things out of the way. I like to say that coach stands for like COACH stands for cheer on and call higher. And that is how I think about like, that's the essence of what I do. I'm going to cheer you on right where you are because I already see you as so capable. Like you are just scratching the surface truly of what you are capable of. And most people that come and talk to me as well are seeing themselves and their lives as uh, like they're not seeing the wonder and the goodness to the extent that they could be in who they already are and what they have already created. So I'm going to cheer you on right where you are. And I'm going to call you higher to what I see like you as being truly capable of creating and becoming with the Lord. And that's like key. This is Catholic coaching. You're not doing it on your own. It's always with like the Holy Spirit being the agent of change. And I think all of that is just so exciting, so fun. So yes, there's some discomfort and it's like just the beginning. It's it's a conversation about possibility really, which is so exciting. So that is what a consultation is. People tell me all of the time that it's one of the most valuable, clarifying conversations that they've ever had, and I don't want you to miss out on that. They're totally free. I love doing them. They're so much fun. So if you want to experience what it's like to make your invisible inner world visible, to like have an experience of seeing what's going on inside you so you can stop fighting an invisible battle, that's what we're going to do in the concert. We're going to shine a light on it together, which gives you a fighting chance of actually winning the battle for your time. So you want to click the link below or in the email or wherever you've come from seeing this, click the link to book your consultation and get it on your calendar. And even just putting it on your calendar, that is already a shift. That is you telling your brain, my time, my life is valuable enough. My dreams are valuable enough, important enough. I am important enough to take an hour to think powerfully and carefully about how I'm spending my time, about how I'm stewarding my life. And my honest thought is like the busier you are, the more important it is to pause and look at how you're stewarding your time. And that can be challenging to do when you're feeling very busy. And it's just also so amazing to have somebody to do it with, somebody who's trained in the art of human change. And so that is what this call gives you. It gives you space to do that, to look at where is my attention going? And do I like what that is creating for me? So get yourself off the fence, book your call, get it on your calendar, and I will see you there. Have an amazing week.